All right. Welcome. We have a beautiful day today on our Tuesday meditation because, it's the theme of Hod. I love this one. I've kind of looked forward to it, and it's tied really to last week, which was Netzach. Netzach and Hod are like our left leg and our right leg. Netzach our left, Hod on our right. And one of them is, as we talked last week, the desire to do and to push and to succeed and to be victorious. And Hod is literally like the opposite. I use this example in the week, in the weekly kind of introduction to all of this. Just imagine that Netzach is like the power of the waves crashing into the beach, right? They are going in a certain direction. They're moving, they're crashing, they're going down. And the beach, the sand, the rocks around it accept those waves. They just kind of sit back and they allow the waves to come into them. And Hod is... here's another way that it was put. Miriam Klotz of Institute for Jewish Spirituality put it this way. It's the same idea. You're on a kayak, right? And you're pushing down the kayak and you're going like this, pushing on the kayak. Hod, you put the oar down and you allow the water to take you to where it's going to take you. And a lot of what we talk about before we entered into the Omer was this idea to just allow things to be as they are just for now. That's a very Hod concept. That's that concept of Hod being the way that you act in the world in acceptance. You're kind of leaning back a little bit, allowing life to come to you, and taking that life wherever it takes you. It is allowing things to be as they are, and accepting. And not just accepting it, not just allowing it, but actually giving thanks for this moment that we have in our lives at every single moment. Hod many times is tied to the value of Hodaya, which is to be thankful. And the exercises we're going to do this week, the things we're going to think about this week, are really going to have to do with finding gratitude, humility, thanks for what is. There's a line I talk about every Shabbat morning, which is from Ashrei. Ashrei is the prayer that's all about kind of Ashrei V'tacha. Happy are those who sit in God's house. And the question is, what's God's house? And the second line says, Ashrei ha'am shekacha lo. Happy is the one that kacha lo. Kacha is this Hod I've been talking about. Kacha is what's happening to you in your life right now. What are your feelings? What are your thoughts? What's coming into you? What experiences are you having? And to understand that every one of those things, in this parlance, kacha lo means to him or to God. So it's Ashrei ha'am shekacha lo. Happy is the one that understands that what's going on in our lives, it does belong to us, but in a way it doesn't belong to us. It belongs to the fabric of the universe. It belongs to the creator of all things. It is at the same time inside of us and outside of us, so that we can look and say, I am so lucky. I can sit here and do meditation. I'm so lucky I'm breathing. I'm so lucky I can walk. I'm so lucky I'm not constantly in pain. And some of us might constantly be in pain. I'm lucky that I'm in pain, but I can still exist in the world. I mean, to cultivate gratitude is just that. You need to cultivate it. We need to practice it. We need to think about it. That we can't just have gratitude just because we say, okay, I'm going to have gratitude at this time. As a matter of fact, I find more and more, and this is, I think studies back this up, it's much easier to be negative. It's much easier to put something down. First of all, if you put it down, it makes you feel a little bit better. But it's so easy to be negative. We've talked about that in terms of our own personal negative thoughts. But let's see in the world, how many times do you just kind of enter into the world, into an experience, and you're like, oh, I love this, right? There's a little skepticism a lot of times at first when we enter into things. But to go in with a hod attitude, if I can even use it that way, is to go in with a kind of excitement for what is. I think that's part of this, is we're not pushing ourselves into the world so that we can be great. We're allowing the world to come to us so that we can experience it. And I think there's a big difference between that netzach and hod. Netzach's pushing out, hod is accepting in. Hodaya is accepting it in and being thankful for everything that we have. The good, excuse me, the good, the bad, the indifferent, everything that's happening to us, to have gratitude for it and thanks for it and love for it. So many times we approach our life thinking, how am I going to get something from this? Even when we think about ourselves, we're selfish and we want what we want, and that's the way we want it, and it has to be that way. Today is loving kindness in hod. So it is having gratitude for something because it's real love inside of us that leads to the gratitude. So many times I think we might feign being humble or feign gratitude or thankfulness just because we want our ego to be stroked a little bit. So we say, oh, I have the best life and I'm so lucky and I have this all so that I can self-aggrandize myself. But true loving kindness in hod is saying, I love the world. I experience the world for what it is. I take it in, I make it mine, and I'm full of gratitude for that. It is just a little tweak in how we think about things, to go into something with the thought of a loving gratitude, a loving thankfulness, a loving embrace of what is happening to us. And I don't want you to mistake me. I don't think hod is passive. I don't think it's we just sit there and say, okay, bring it on. Bring on life. Bring this stuff on, and I'm going to be just so happy that I'm doing it. I think it's more that I'm actively grateful. I'm actively humble. How one can't be humble when you consider the universe, that's a little bit beyond me. But it's the combination of being humble about who we are, where we exist in the universe, and at the same time saying, but what I have in my life is fantastic. It's amazing. So many times we don't think about how incredible our life is. In just 1 minute, I did a sermon many years ago for Yisker, where I actually looked up statistics. This is where, by the way, my wife's going to turn this part off if I start talking a lot about statistics. But, I looked at what are the chances of any one of us being born when you consider, your parents had to meet. That meeting had to go to a second date. That second date had to go to a relationship that led to a child being born. So just that, I think it's like 1 in, 45 million. And then you consider how many eggs there are, how much sperm there is, that one sperm has to get to that one egg at that particular time. I mean, it's something like 1 to the 10 millionth power or 40 millionth power or something like that. The fact that we're even here, we should be like singing praises and grateful every single day of our lives because we're the chosen ones who are alive. That in itself has to lead us to being grateful, to being humble. That, I mean, really, this is rather crass, but if my parents, had slept together the night later, then you might be sitting here with Joan, for all I know, right? But I'm not here. So I have to think how grateful I am just for life. So that's our introduction. Loving kindness and Hod. And so let's reflect upon our existence, our humility, perhaps, but most important, for today especially, Hodaya, how grateful we are, how thankful we are for just being. And the ultimate of being is what we're about to do, right? Is to sit and breathe. What an unbelievable network we have inside of this vessel that on the outside has this skin that keeps everything in. On the inside, we have muscles that allow us to do it. We have nerves that lead to those muscles. I mean, it's a network. Every morning we say this blessing, but it's a network inside of us that works no matter what we do. So let's be thankful for that and grateful for that by concentrating on that breath of life that we have inside of us. Get into a position that's comfortable yet strong. I'm sorry, just was taking a look at some of the comments here. Susie Franklin said, I always say, as an adopted child, I was born in my parents' heart, not my mommy's tummy. Yeah, I mean, being adopted, how wonderful that is, right? How much thanks to give for just being here. I think that really points it up very beautifully. Just allowing things to be as they are for now. Let's just breathe. Feel our breath. Feel your body. Notice the sounds that are caught in your ear. Is the window open and you can hear nature outside? Can you hear birds or cars or the rustling of leaves? All of it goes into this moment to be grateful, thankful, humble, for we are just human. What does your body feel like as it expands with your breath? It goes in, it goes out. Allows our body to sink into the chair a little bit. Just a little reminder of the three aspects of the soul in Hebrew. The ruach is that wind that we push out. The nefesh is that space between breathing in, breathing out, and breathing out and breathing in. It's that refresh point is nefesh. And neshama could be all of it together, or taking in the world from the outside as you breathe in. Neshama in, nefesh in the middle, and ruach out. Feel each one of those aspects of our souls as we breathe, giving us life at every moment. As you breathe, I'm sure thoughts have already come into your head, taken you perhaps far away from your breath. It's okay. With love, with chesed, appropriate for this evening. With chesed, in your hod, just bring yourself back to your breath. There's no need to beat yourself up about it. In all humility, we all have those thoughts that take us from our breath. Bring ourselves back. For the last 5 minutes or so we have together, we really move from our individual breathing, our individual thoughts, to bringing them together with an intention and a direction. Since it's Monday, we ask for safety and health. May I feel safe, and may I feel healthy. Someday as we do these meditations, we can change our Monday. But I still think we all yearn for health, especially now, and to remain safe. For many of us, if we've been vaccinated, we are safe, but we might not feel it. May I feel safe. May I feel healthy. And with each breath, we offer that to the universe. May I feel safe. May I feel healthy. May I feel healthy. May I feel safe. May I feel healthy. May I feel safe. You can say it out loud, you can say it to yourself, you can whisper it, you can just say it in your mind. Each breath. May I feel safe. May I feel healthy. May I feel healthy. May I feel safe. If you'd like to offer it quickly to someone else, put them in front of you in your mind's eye and just picture somebody. May you feel safe. May you feel healthy. And offer it right to them. May you feel healthy. May you feel safe. Just stay there for several breaths. And let's bring it back to ourselves. Just a couple of breaths. May I feel safe. May I feel healthy. May I feel healthy and safe. May I feel safe. May I feel healthy. And we finish just back on our breath. No thought. Just a neutral existence. Feeling our breath go in and out of our body. thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you were able to find stillness and peace. May you feel safe. May you feel healthy. And may your loving kindness be in your humility, chesed, shebehod. Have a beautiful